Has anyone wondered if do drugs treat you actually, or do they just manage your symptoms? Any hands? Sometimes. So it cures or it manages. You're right. Any other person manages it. Wonderful. So so now we'll be moving into the purpose of drugs. First of all, drugs basically, most drugs, in fact, all drugs, they manage your illnesses. There hasn't been found any drug that cures totally and says that a particular disease is totally eradicated from your body. You understand? So we see here that it alleviates symptoms, it fights infection. So if there are bacteria or microbes in your body, it just kills it. But have you ever wondered why it still comes back again? So it just kills. It just manages chronic situations like diabetes. That's why people on diabetes drugs and hypertension, they stay on it always. They are consistently on diabetic drugs so that they will not be able to go back to the normal chronic way the disease came into their body. So note, most drugs manage symptoms rather than cure the underlying disease. According to the research, Can We Say Cure by Joseph Pizzonro, he found that many drugs only relieve symptoms while allowing the underlying disease to progress. Drugs often mask the symptoms, which is what I was saying earlier. For painkillers, what drugs do basically is just to they stimulate the nerves in the brain and just shut it down for some time, and it makes you feel like it is cure, whereas it's just relieving you of the symptoms. As you can see here, it just blocks pain receptors, not heal. For blood pressure meds, it just reduces the pressure at the arteries, so it opens it up more for proper blood flow. So for antidepressants, we see that it just adjusts the moods and it innervates the nerves. For example, about the man that talked about endorphins, then there are risks involved in staying on drugs constantly, like the dependence, the addiction, the side effects of staying on drugs consistently. Now, beyond taking drugs always, there are lifestyle modifications we should get used to if we live a healthy lifestyle. Example is fasting. Fasting is a technology that when we inculcate it in our system, it will encourage autophagy. Autophagy basically is like, let me use layman's language. It's when your body doesn't see food, then it begins to eat up the old and the wrong cells in your body. So what happens is when your body is creating new cells, it's creating new ones, new fresher ones, new healthier ones, basically. And fasting also helps with clarity of the mind, prevents chronic diseases. Most diseases, more than 80% of the diseases we face is as a result of what we've eaten. That is why Hippocrates has given us this quote: let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Sorry, I skipped a slide from my editing, so I'll have to say it offhand. So one of the benefits of fasting now is that for women, basically, fasting helps you in detoxifying you from inside. It cleanses your skin. Most times what we see outside is the state of our body inside. So if we fast, which is when we fast, we allow the process of autophagy to kick in our system. So our body now produces new cells. And then when it produces those new cells, your skin becomes much more sumptuous as you would like it to be. Now, fasting also helps with preventing a lot of diseases, because when our body enters the state of autophagy, our immune system is always at its peak and it fights off a lot of diseases. And there was a research by someone, I've forgotten now, but he said that there is nowhere or no founded basis for saying that we should eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just as a result of the revolutionization of the earth in recent times that makes us feel like that. But if you would look at it the other way around, you will see that excess food, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's actually the wrong way to treat your body. Now, when your body doesn't see such amount of food, it gets used to not having that amount of food, so it gets used to eating up the wrong cells in your body. Now, there was a quote in the Bible that said, "Woe to you if your princes eat in the morning and eat for pleasure and not for strength." So my emphasis basically is that we should embrace healthy nutrition and fasting for long-term health and not relying on drugs, because drugs don't cure you. Drugs only relieve the symptoms in your body. So, thank you.